Former President Trump is facing a Monday deadline to pay a nearly $500 million bond. New York Attorney General Letitia James is challenging his claim that he can't secure the bond, urging the court to ignore his request to lower the amount. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky has the latest on that story.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is urging an appeals court to ignore Donald Trump's claim that securing a bond is a practical impossibility. His lawyer said Trump is facing insurmountable difficulties in obtaining a bond to guarantee he can pay if he loses his appeal of a nearly $500 million civil fraud judgment. They said more than 30 insurance companies turned him down, and they asked for court permission to post a smaller bond, or none at all. There's a critical deadline. If Trump fails to secure some kind of financial guarantee by Monday, James can begin to drain his bank accounts and seize his real estate. You're prepared to have the state move to seize Trump's assets?
We are prepared to make sure that the judgment is paid to New Yorkers.
The Attorney General balked at allowing Trump to forego posting a full bond. She suggested he could try dividing the bond amount among multiple sureties, or even turning over his properties for the court to hold as collateral, like his gold-plated penthouse in Trump Tower, which he showed off to Barbara Walters in 2015.
I'm looking around. Yeah, there's a lot of gold here.
You've done pretty well, right?
And senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky joins me now for more. Aaron, what's at stake for former President Trump if he can't secure this bond?
Well, you heard the Attorney General herself say that she is prepared to move to try to freeze bank accounts, seize buildings like the one behind me here on Wall Street. Diane, it's not like they're going to padlock Trump Tower or this building or any of Trump's properties. But the Attorney General's office can take legal steps like liens and foreclosures to make sure they're satisfied Trump can pay what the judge said he owes the state for a decade's worth of business fraud.
Now, Trump's campaign is fundraising off of this whole bond dispute. How could this impact him on the campaign trail?
Well, he's trying to make it work for him, as he does all of his legal troubles, to make it a centerpiece for his campaign. Look how they're trying to get me. They're trying to take my properties. They're trying to make me sell my properties at a fire sale, which he said would be inappropriate because he couldn't get the buildings back if he sells them, and his appeal ends up being successful. But it also does threaten the image that Trump has cultivated for decades as a successful business tycoon. Now he's saying he doesn't have the money to pay his bill.
So, Aaron, what are the next steps as this Monday deadline approaches?
Well, we'll see if the appeals court takes any action to give Trump any kind of a reprieve. He's saying, let me pay a smaller bond, about a quarter of the judgment. Let me pay no bond at all and just, know I'm good for it because I have so many pricey assets. And the Attorney General's office clearly opposes that. Absent that, if Trump cannot find some kind of financial guarantee, by Monday, I would expect that the Attorney General's office would begin to tell the court how they want to proceed to try and start taking possession of some of Trump's properties. And that's not going to be quick. No padlocks, no stickers on the doors, Diane. But it could begin a slow process of forcing Trump to surrender the empire that he's built.
And, Aaron, all that fundraising on the campaign trail, what are the limitations on how that money can be used when it comes to his legal disputes?
Right. We know that last year, for example, he used $50 million in money that was raised through donors on legal bills. He can pay off lawyers, but he cannot use campaign money to satisfy civil court judgments, and that's why he had to get a separate bond for the E. Jean Carroll case, which he was able to do. But here, he is trying to come up with enough cash to secure a bond because he says more than 30 insurance companies have refused to take his real estate as collateral, and his lawyers are saying he just doesn't have any other options.
All right, senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky. Aaron, thank you.